guys, welcome back to World of Tanks. My name is Bruce and today I want to offer 10 golden tips on how to play arty successfully. If you're interested in more reviews and gameplay, go to YouTube and search for World of Tanks with Bruce to get all of my videos, or click on the subscribe button. And now let's go. Arty is a very unique tank class in World of Tanks. This class went through a series of nerfs in the last years and is now weaker than ever. Furthermore, it is only a support class and has the least influence on the battle. However, in this tutorial I will show you how a good arty player can make the difference in each game and how you can help your team to win the game and to outplay the adversary arty player. Alright, so my first tip is understand the different shell types and their drawbacks. So normal HE offers the highest splash, but let's say only normal damage, or not the highest damage amount, but has the highest trajectory. Special HE offers almost no splash but the highest damage, and the armor piercing round, in this case the heat shell, offers no splash, has the highest pen, the lowest damage, and a direct hit is required. On top of that, it has the lowest trajectory. So as you can see here, in this case right here, the trajectory of all of the shells is not enough. This is indicated in red, and in this situation you do not see a shell travel time. But if we on this position, as you can see here, the trajectory for the regular HE shell and the special HE shell is sufficient, so the line of fire is indicated in green, and in addition to this you get a green symbol for the HE shells, and also the travel time of the shells is indicated. So this is what you always have to keep in mind. In this current position where I am currently aiming, the trajectory of the heat shell is not sufficient. So the easiest way is to always select the standard HE shell, because once again it offers the highest trajectory. However, if you switch between those shells, you always have to also keep this in mind and take this into your consideration. So let's see how it goes, see if we can take a shot onto those tanks, maybe if they advance. Doesn't look like, so let's you know what, let's change to this tank. And keep in mind, or notice that the shell travel time is increased the further you aim, and so you have to take this into your consideration if you basically aim towards your opponents. That is super important, because once again, not only the trajectory is different between those shells, but also the travel time differs, but we'll come to this later. So in this situation I am loading the HE shell, the standard HE shell with the highest trajectory, and I have pre-selected the armor piercing round because I want to penetrate those heavily armored tanks. And as you can see now, my gun trajectory for the heat shell is insufficient, and so I'm basically wasting my time because I cannot squeeze out a shot because the trajectory is not sufficient, and so I have to reload HE in order to finally get a shot onto those tanks. So this can happen if you select the premium HE shell or the heat shell, and if the terrain is simply does not allow for those lower trajectories. So I take the HE shell, and now I can finally get a shot onto the tank, and I make at least 172 damage. Okay, so after we understood the different shell types, here's my tip number 2. Concentrate on the normal HE. Don't equip your tank with too many special HE or AP shells. You want to make damage even when your shell does not hit the adversary tank. In addition to this, you always want to get assisting damage with stunning the adversary tanks. So this is why I recommend to mainly use and mainly focus on the standard HE ammunition. In my opinion, Wargaming made a bad job of balancing those shell types, and in my opinion, the best shell type is the standard HE shell, because it doesn't only offer relatively high alpha damage but also splash damage, which is needed in order to get a decent result in your artillery. Now, before I come to the next tip, let's talk about this map and about the important position on this map. So spawning on El Haluf, the game usually develops like this. So some tanks are fighting for this portion of the map, some light tanks, some tank destroyers, and maybe one or another medium tank, but the majority of the tanks will go to this position right here. This is where the fight takes place, and most often the game or the team which wins this portion of the map actually wins the map and wins the game, because they are able to drive towards the enemy base without having to cross the open field right here. So in my opinion, this is the important position on El Haluf. So after we know the most important position of the map, here is my tip number 3. Reposition yourself on the map in order to get a line of fire towards the currently important position. This way you are always able to support your team where it is needed, and as we said, the most important position on this map is in the northern portion of the map, and so I went to the extremely non-standard A8 position, and I want to get a shot onto the tanks which are crossing. Now unfortunately the M46 pattern already crossed, but here you go, I can get damage towards the Stritzwagen, which also crossed. Now I want to further help my team in order to win this position, and the good thing is I can take the E75 under fire, and take a look at the team composition. It is a tier 9 matchup, so the E75 is the most dangerous tank on the adversary team, and so I'm not only supporting my team to win the important position, but I'm also supporting my team to counter the most dangerous adversary tank. And so let's see how it goes. The E75 is relocating. Let's get another shot. We have to okay, now he is hiding, but maybe we can get another shot. Here you go, 243 additional damage, and with doing this we are helping our team to counter the most dangerous tanks on the adversary team, and this is clearly a very useful step in order to help our team to win the important position. So this is what you should do in your artillery. So let me give you another example. We are spawning on El Haluf. In my opinion, the southern portion of this map is the most important position, because the team which is winning the, let's say, the dynamic flank, which is the southern flank, usually wins or has an increased chance of winning the game. And so I want to position myself so to support my team to win the south, and this is what I am currently doing. So I knocked down some trees in order to get a position which has better cover basically, and then I want to set up myself in order to support my team once they arrive at the critical position, which is the J8 position, so the little ditch on this map. And so here you go, the enemy team is already approaching this position, the GSOR 1008. And so let's see if we can get a shot onto this tank so that we instantaneously support our team in winning the important position on the map. So shell travel time is 1.7. Once again, a good example on the insufficient trajectory of the heat shell, at least in the previous position. Now everything is fine. but as you can see here, yeah, it drops back. So in aiming at this position, we can only use the standard HE ammunition. Here you go, the Stritzwagen. Let's fully aim in and take a shot, and here you go. Now my next tip is always reposition your tank after each shot. You have a long reload anyway after each shot, so use it to not be susceptible to counter artillery fire, and that is what you see me doing here. And notice that I am stopping my tank about 10 seconds prior to the next shot, so that I make sure that I'm fully aimed in for the next shot, and then once I take the next shot, I instantaneously reload once again in order to not get taken out by the enemy artillery. Okay, so let's finally start with the first regular game that I want to showcase. Once again, we are playing the Lorraine 15550, the tier 7 French artillery. We are once again spawning on live oaks, and as I just explained, on this map I want to go to the south because I think it is the most important position, and I want to help my team to actually win this important position. Now, the necessity to basically help my team to win the south is even more distinct in this game, because the top tier tank is the T832. So a tank which is most likely appearing at a hull down position, so most likely in the south of the map. So I want to go to this position, as I just said. I knocked down some trees in order to give myself even more cover. And the good thing about kind of relocating to one or the other flank is that your shell travel time is reduced. And so as you can see, my shell time is only 2 seconds, which makes my aiming much easier compared to, let's say, a shell travel time of 3 seconds or even beyond 3 seconds. So alright, let's see how it goes. My next tip, so tip number 5, is always fully aim in. Arties have the least precise guns in World of Tanks, so you have to fully aim in order to get a somewhat decent chance to hit your adversary tank. So that is what you always should do. Now, the next tip is prioritize your targets correctly. You want to hit slow targets which you don't have to face frontally if possible. So prefer heavy tanks or tank destroyers. You don't want to risk not making any damage at all because you aimed at light tanks which can still escape after you have fired your shot. Above average players will simply hear the incoming arty shell and then still escape the impact area, a thing which I also highlighted in my light tank advanced tutorial that you might want to check out. So in this case, I want to aim at the slow and sluggish heavy tank, the T832, which is also the top tier enemy heavy tank. And so what I need to do is I need to help my team to take out this tank because it is the most dangerous tank in this position. It is a heavy tank, it has a great frontal hull armor, or not hull armor but turret armor, but the hull is actually also pretty nice, and so I want to aim at this tank. Now unfortunately he is dropping down into the riverbed, and so now I want to move over to the other tanks. Oh nice, I get 2 tanks in a very small area. Nice, so we make about 400 damage. Excellent, we even stun 1 tank. Nice. And so let's simply keep... Okay, you know what? I think I need to help our T832. And so I want to take out the Italian tank destroyer. So let's see how it goes. Now I take the chance of stunning my own teammate, which is unfortunate, but I can take out the Italian tank destroyer, and so my teammate can actually hide behind the wreck, and now I want to help him to take out the VZ44 so that he can survive the encounter against 3 enemy tanks. Let's see, and nice, we can take them out. So we help our team to win this position once again, and that is what you should do in order to be a more valuable part of the team and in order to also increase your win rate if you're playing artillery, because in general the influence with playing artillery is the worst, or the lowest if you're playing this tank class. So this is what I want to do, and actually I think with my help my team made or had the chance to win the southern portion of the map, and we'll see how it goes. Now unfortunately the enemy team is making huge pressure in the north, and looks like the team is winning the north. We'll see how long the AMX M450 45 can withstand the attack, but we'll see. Maybe we can get a shot on the Super Hellcat. Let's see. Go. Maybe if he. Okay. He's reversing, unfortunately. Okay, that's super unfortunate. Let's see how it goes. We have to take a look at the minimap, and yeah, so tip number 7 is use the minimap in order to see when it is time to relocate. Usually, and the French arty certainly is an exception here, arties are very slow, so you have to foresee this relatively early in the game. Hence, as an artillery player, it is critical, as with every other tank class, to basically lobster eye the minimap and see what is going on in the game. So I took a look at the minimap and I saw that we are losing this portion of the map, and so I need to relocate to a much safer position on the map, basically to the second line, so behind my teammates, so that I will maintain alive and basically stay in the game in order to further make damage. I already only made about 1000 damage and about 500 assisting damage. It's not too bad for tier 7 artillery, but of course I want to get a better result. The game still relatively close, we'll see how it goes. But so far, obviously, I want to stay in the game to make as much damage as I can. So let's turn around and let's see if we can take a shot at maybe the light tank. Once again, we want to fully aim in order to take him out. Here you go. Nice. We can take him out. Perfect. And once again, we want to relocate, because as we were relocating, the enemy artillery was already focusing us, so we want to relocate into this bush. And we still have enough reload time to fully aim in. I'm indicating my team that I want to support it by shooting towards the ESC even 90. And here you go. Let me see. Here you go. Nice. Take it. Oh, nice. And we can take out the ELC even 90. Now this shot, 655 damage, was only possible because we lobster-eyed the minimap and we took the chance to relocate to not get taken out by the enemy forces. And so a good example on how important it is to having the minimap open as an artillery player and to lobster-eye it and see what is going on in the game. So 11-11, we'll see whether our team is able to win this game. And once again, we want to relocate a bit, and maybe we can get a shot onto the German heavy tank. Would be good if we could take out this tank. Shell trajectory 1.1 seconds, so nice. We get another additional 203 damage. Good. And now I'm actually not relocating because I want to see what is going on here. And doesn't look too good in this game. Maybe one additional shot onto this tank. Unfortunately, he's hiding behind some cover. And you know what? I think, as he is hiding, I should further relocate. So let's see. Okay. I think this result is much better. Okay, now I need to turn around to get a shot on the T-44. This is where my team needs my help. Okay, unfortunately, that was maybe not the best move, but Maybe, okay, so now we have the last tank in the game. You know what, can we get another shot? Nice, another at least 75 damage. And yeah, so the game is lost. I think I will not be able to win the game, but with applying all those tips, we made 2000 damage and about 500 assisting damage. And I think this is a decent result in an artillery game, and so I am pretty happy with this result. Can we evade out of this situation? I think no, we cannot. So yeah, we lose the game, but once again, a decent result in this game. Alright, second game. This time we're spawning on cliff, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. I think cliff is not the best map for an artillery game, but we'll see. Once again, we'll see how it goes. It is certainly not the worst game or the worst map either. And so let's talk about tip number 8. My tip number 8 is stop moving about 10 seconds prior to the next shot. But we already talked about this in the previous game. However, it is super important, and so it is my tip number 8. If you reposition yourself to aim at another position, stop moving about 10 seconds prior to having reloaded. This way you will have enough time to fully aim in and to kill your adversary. And as you can see, once my reload is completed, I'm basically fully aimed in, ready to take a shot and to kill the adversary tanks. So let's see how it goes. Now, your DPM is bad anyway, so you always have those 10 seconds. You have time to relocate, and thereafter there's still enough time to basically stop and to fully aim in, because your reload is yeah, so long anyway. And this maybe does not apply for the auto-loading tier 10 French artillery, but for every other artillery in the game. So that is super important. Now we want to relocate because there are not too many artillery positions in the game, so the chance of getting counter fired or counter artillery fired on this map is actually relatively high. And so I want to relocate, and now I want to focus this position. Now, tip number 9 is consider the shell travel time. The time which is passed until the shell impacts the desired area is displayed, as I said, for each shell type, and it depends on the trajectory, so on the respective shell type. Try to incorporate this time into your aiming and try to pre-calculate how much you have to lead your shot. Now obviously if the tank is standing still like this, then you do not have to lead anything, but for a moving target or for a target which is behind cover, you have to take this travel time into your consideration so that you hit the target, or that you hit the position once the target approaches this or is approaching this position. So this is super important, and so keeping an eye on the shell travel time is important if you want to get decent results in your artillery. So let's see if we can further support our team. Here we go, there's another tank. Let us see, maybe, here we go. Okay, he's unfortunately moving, so we only stun him. Now, once again, you see me use the standard HE ammunition, and this is mainly because I still want to make want to get assisting damage, even if my shell does not hit the target or doesn't even come close to the target. And so in my opinion this is super important. Okay, this was not enough aiming. You always have to fully aim in if you are playing artillery, otherwise you will not hit. So let's see if we can now fully aim in. Here we go. Okay, he's now not spotted anymore, but maybe in a bit. 0.2 seconds, and yep, you know what? Okay, let's try to focus this tank. Oh, okay. Okay. I want to take the shot. I don't know if I made damage here, but you know what? Let's try to... Okay, this is... I think it is important to take out the light tank because he can spot our team. However, once again, as I already said, usually you want to focus slow tanks, tanks which are not moving. And so let's focus this tank. Let's fully aim in, and here you go. Okay, we only make 24 damage. And so, yeah. Let's keep aiming at this position. Nice. And let's... the game, once again, does not look very good at all. And so, let's take another shot. And we can only stun him. So, yeah, that is the drawback of playing artillery. Let's see if we can focus here. Looks like our T-34-100 is focused. But unfortunately, as those tanks are behind the rock, I can not support my teammate here, and the problem is due to our bad map control, I cannot relocate and drive out of the bushes, because then I will be spotted and I will get taken out of the game. So let's once again concentrate on the right flank and the Type 58. So let's see if we can get another shot. The good thing is we already made some blind shot, some damage with blind shots. And here you go. Nice, please do not move. He moves, and so we only make 85 damage. Once again, not the best result, but you know what? The KV-3 is now advancing, and now we should be able to take a shot onto the KV-3. Shell travel time is 1 second only, so this shouldn't be a problem. And you know what? And bam, bam, that was a hit. 188 damage. Nice. So already 1100 damage indicated, and in addition with the blind shots, I think we have about 1700 damage or so. Let's see. Maybe we can get another shot, maybe on the... No, he's already taken out, so let's once again, maybe our tanks can spot the KV-3, maybe. 9 to 11, the game, yeah, looks like another loss once again. And yeah, you should not be too frustrated if you're playing artillery, because your influence of the or your influence in the game is the least in this tank class, and so that is not a surprise whatsoever. Maybe we can support our team with a shot on the... Okay, here you go. On the T-34-100. No, but the enemy heavy tanks are approaching once again. Bam, at least one additional shot. 145 damage. Of course, the enemy artillery is focusing us. 1300 indicated, and you know what? With all my blind shots, we made 2100 damage in this game, which is a nice result. Now we're taken out, but that is all right. And now let's take a look. Let's talk about the last tip for artillery players. Tip number 10 is try to set up a trap for your adversaries. So we're trying to get one shot on the Conqueror. Let's see, it goes. We want to fully aim in, and here you go. We also calculated the shell travel time. Nice. And now at the end of the game, if you're on the losing side, you will most likely be the last tank on the battlefield. So in this situation, do not drown yourself, but try to set up a trap for your adversaries. By using auto aim, you will be able to squeeze out one last shot at the end of the game, and you will be able to make about, let's say, 300 to 400 damage, additional damage at the end of each game. So we're using auto aim, and we're decreasing the range, or we wait until the range is decreased, and this with doing this, we are able to squeeze out another shot, and we get at least some additional damage at the end of the game. Now, another thing you can do is, at least if you're playing in the fast French artillery, you can use your mobility, and then the same thing applies. Just drive towards your opponent, surprise them, use auto aim, decrease the range, and then squeeze out a shot to make additional damage at the end of the game. And sometimes you can even decap with your artillery and be a valuable part of your team. So as you can see, the game is relatively close. There's one opponent tank or adversary tank in our cap, and so we want to use the bushes and the buildings in order to not being spotted until we arrive at this tank. He's most likely behind the building. You know what? I don't care, because he has I think 240 alpha damage, which is not a problem at all. So I survived this shot, and so now I can decap and yeah, just help my team to win the game. Alright guys, that was it for today with a little arty tutorial. What do you think about artilleries in World of Tanks? Do you like this tank class, or do you think it is annoying? Just leave a comment in the comment section down below. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you hated it, give it a thumbs down. Consider subscribing to my channel, and I see you next time in another World of Tanks video.